Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com, and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing. Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the Ultimate Underground Metal Tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Oh, this is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you for tuning in this week to the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. Dudes, before we get into it, I am going to say that Mr. Jason Gardner is here, and he is actually part of the interview today. So, we're just waiting on David to come into the Zoom session here. Yeah, man. So, dude, we're gonna talk to him about Steel and Stone and some other stuff, but let's talk about this past weekend at the big goddamn metal show. I want to fucking talk about that for a minute, because holy fucking shit, it came, it conquered, it was fucking there, man. It was such a fucking banger. Like, I cannot fucking believe how awesome both nights were, you know. And, you know, it's about 150 people between both nights, and I'm totally fucking awesome with that, you know. That's a pretty stout fucking deal for a 1 year thing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, I think your name now is Mark Moneybags Jackson.
Oh, shut up with that. Don't say that shit.
But,
no.
No, dude, it's a good turnout, man. Like I said, I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, it is. It's all about. I'm proud of it, and I didn't have anything to do with it.
Well, you know? I mean, dude, you talk the shit up out of it and everything. You posted on the DWP shit, and you posted on fucking, you know, the Leo shit for the fucking local paper here, the art paper. And fucking, you totally talked that shit up, and you were just like, hey, what about the big goddamn metal show? How could you leave that out, motherfuckers? Yeah. You know? And you would even tag fucking a couple of times both event pages. And dude, that's fucking awesome. And so, yeah, you did have a vested interest in it, because it's you know, your friends care, you know?
Like I say, I just get tired of all these festivals, knowing legitimacy to most people is if it has names you recognize. And why not just take a chance and go see the names you don't recognize and maybe become a fan? I mean, it's a $15 gamble versus $300 gamble for a rained out event. $15 seems like a pretty safe bet to me. I don't really get people's mentality on why they just frown upon stuff they don't know about. It's if they never heard of it, it's not good. It's that's
right.
That's the dumbest mindset that you could ever ask for people. And unfortunately, that's most music fans.
Right. To me, the thing about it is, too, it's you know, a lot of your friends are in these bands. So, fucking come see them, you know? Spend the fucking money. You know, it's not a big investment, you know? And just do the fucking thing, man. Just, have a good fucking time. And I know that's what you're doing it for, is to have a good fucking time, you know?
Right.
I mean, because it's nothing we're all getting rich at.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I mean, again, I can't beat this in the ground enough, I guess. But yeah, I mean, if you have friends that play in bands, just go out there and pay the door and go see them, see the other band, and maybe become a fan. And just that's how stuff grows and grows and grows.
I'm gonna give a fucking shout out right now. Matt Holthauser, if you're out there listening right now, hit me the fuck up. Send me your fucking email or something. Send me a message. Do something. Find me, because I'm gonna send you some shit. Because yes, that dude bought a Forge Pass and never even came.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you're listening, dude, I mean, yeah, thanks for buying it. But
yeah, dude, I don't know if it's just it was just the support of the fucking metal scene, or what, you know? I mean,
something could have happened too. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, but I totally want to make it up to that guy.
Right.
Because it's that's how I am, I guess, you know? You never know what happens. Fuck. But dude, we're going to listen to some Twisted Tower Dire. What do you want to listen to?
Well, I'm going to say go with the classic Access and Honor off of their best album, in my opinion, which we would hopefully talk about this episode, which is the Crest of the Martyrs album from, I think, 2005?
Dude, yeah, 2003, I believe. And I just listened to it in its entirety, and I was just like, wow, this is so fucking cool. Still so fucking cool. It's definitely, I hate saying the word, seminal album.
It's a classic. I mean,
yeah, it's like if we could get like a classic album series of underground rock and underground metal and shit, this would totally be that album.
Yeah, the thing about Twisted Tower is like they were like on the forefront of like the trad metal before it became like a thing now. So,
Right.
like, they're like the grandfathers of it, doing it back in 2000 when
This
it was all
plays these grandpa's guitars.
when it was all like new metal and stuff like that was
Right.
great. Guys were just
And that's
keeping
the
it real.
thing too, that like what I want to talk about is like, you know, how things have changed because they had been around this entire time, consecutively putting out EPs and albums and singles and all of this, and you know, they didn't have that quote resurgence like a lot of their predecessors might have had. And
Right.
like, you know, the Exciters and like Raven, for example, is a prime candidate for that. Raven never really had a resurgence. They've been going the whole fucking time.
Yep.
So, but yeah, man, Axes and Honor it is. Metalheads, this week is fucking awesome because, again, Jason Gardner is here and he is the promoter of Steel and Stone Fest in Asheville, North Carolina at the Odd. This year is the 7th year. Obviously, Overload is playing. We talked about that to fucking no end. Jason keeps plugging it on the show here. Jason, I'm going to let you introduce this week's guest because who are they?
Well, it's only singular, actually, but nonetheless, I'm pretty excited because the lead guitar player for the headliner, Twisted Tower Dyer, is joining us on the Metal Forge this week.
Holy shit, does he have a name?
Yes, he does. You caught me on the spot. And you know how I get when I'm on the spot.
Yeah, you fucking make notes and don't read them. You lose them.
I didn't make a note of his name. I thought you were going to handle that. So, yeah, I just know David.
Yeah, Mr. David Boyd. Dude, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course, dude. The headlining spot in Steel and Stone 7, fucking, your only North Carolina and possibly only actual appearance this year, right?
Yeah, that is the case. Yep. Unless somebody pulls a fast one here, that's what it's looking like.
Damn, man. This is fucking awesome because, you know, Jason has told me about you guys and let me listen to some of it, and I was just like, holy shit. I mean, wow.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Definitely. Jason,
yeah.
So tell everybody why you wanted to, what made you select Twisted Tower for the headline spot?
Well, actually, I've had him in mind for a while now, but it will always seem like there was something that popped up that worked, and I could just hold them for later. So this year I was like, you know what, I'm actually going to get Twisted this year. I don't care who else hits me up or what works out as far as touring goes. And if they say no, I'll look elsewhere. And I asked them back in I think it was March. So yeah, they've been had this show booked for when the show happens, I think 9 months. It'll be kind of handshake agreement or verbal agreement basically. So yeah, and then I just
isn't that great? That's the whole music business, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. And then I just started building the lineup underneath them. So I was like, I want fast, traditional metal inspired bands, but all of them are a little bit different. So there's Children of the Reptile from Wilmington, who are very traditional inspired, but also huge fans of Twisted Tower. So that's really cool that they're influenced by them. And then we have Oblivion Throne, who is a newer thrash band here from the area. Obviously Overload, who also plays thrash music.
I don't know about that.
All Hell is a speed punk metal band, and then us, who is a power / doom inspired band. So,
right. I think you have a little bit of that swamp, that Georgia swamp tone in there. A little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. I can hear it.
We're in the doom tuning, which is C or C standard because of Micah's vocals. So that I'll automatically lumps us into that kind of genre, I think. Mm-hmm. But I don't really think we're true doom or stoner by any means. We
Absolutely.
have riffs that will fit in there, but we're a major hybrid band.
Definitely. And I just kind of geeked out for a second because I didn't realize this when we were talking about various things that Dave, you're also in Volture with Ryan and Nick.
That's right, yeah.
Which is awesome. And I was just I actually have the sticker on my door over here where
That's great.
Yeah, because I've had Ryan on he's in the archives. So yeah, he's been on before as well. So fuck yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So holy shit. I don't know. So, why the long break, I guess? Because of this being the only show this year. Was it just life or what?
Yeah, it's definitely life. I was thinking about this today when I was driving to another band's practice. I can talk about that later too, but like they're going to ask me why we don't play shows more often, why we're not doing more stuff. What am I going to say? And I think the best way to say it is that I think the number one thing is that we're geographically challenged because we have I live in Richmond, Virginia. 3 of the guys are 2-hour drive south in Raleigh, and then Mark, our drummer, is 2 hours north of me in Northern Virginia. So it's and with everyone being the age we are, and there's kids and jobs, and it's really hard to get together, even just to rehearse and write music together anymore. I mean, we're still doing things, we're still hanging on, and we're doing the best we can, but it's weird because I when you're younger, you have less responsibilities,
Right.
You probably don't have a career yet. You probably don't have kids. When we first started the band, that's all we did was the band. And now we do a lot of other things. The other guitarist, Scott's a marathon runner. He does like ultra marathons. I do a lot of hiking and camping and stuff like that with my free time. There's other bands. Mark's in a band called Monologue, a death metal band. I'm in Volture, which isn't doing a whole lot at the moment. But I just recently rejoined a band called Heavy Penalty. And we're like a speed metal band. We're playing our first show on Saturday in Richmond, so we're excited about that.
Hell yeah.
Jim and Johnny, everybody's into other bands, so it's easy to kind of fuck off and not do as much with TT as we'd like,
Right. And it's always, the way I look at it is it's always when it comes back to it.
Yeah.
You're there when it comes back to it. For example, I've just recently joined another band for the first time ever, playing in 2 different bands. I was always the guy, this is my main priority, this is my goal, this is what I want this to do. And then, this situation presented itself, and I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And what the fuck ever. And it's actually been, one of the coolest experiences ever. So to date, to just be able to sit back and relax and just be the bass player. Whereas
great.
someone else's, as he says, he's like, I want everybody to have a say in this, and it's like, but it's your thing, dude. It's always been your thing.
Yeah.
So you're good, man. Whatever you want to do, you're good. Just let me know.
Bands are interesting because people that don't play in bands think that you just kind of all get together. It's like everything's copacetic. You just get together and practice, write music, and everything kind of flows. It goes well, and it's not like that at all. It's like being married to a bunch of bitchy other men, and you gotta, or men and women, depending on who's in your band, and there's relationships, there's conflicts, there's usually a leader of the band. Sometimes there's 2 people butting heads trying to,
battle it out.
The ship, and sometimes there's no one to steer the ship. And it's, every band kind of has its own dynamic, and ours has changed definitely through time, and we're still doing it. So I guess we're doing something right.
Absolutely. And so here's a question. Out of the bands that you've been in, and say you still play with certain people, okay? Have you ever been at fists with anybody else that you still currently play with today?
Oh, gosh. I don't think so. I remember that. There definitely been some blow-ups. I'm pretty mild-mannered most of the time, but I'm kind of like a tea kettle, I'll sit there and simmer for a while, and then something will happen, I'll be like, son of a bitch, and I'll just start freaking out, and everybody's like, whoa, like, where's this coming from? It's been coming for weeks, I've been waiting for it to happen, and but no physical altercations, luckily, that I can remember.
That's I'm a wrestling fan, so that's the Bobby Eaton thing. When Bobby
You're
Eaton,
looking for a folding chair at practice, like, where's that sitting so I can pick it up if I need it?
Yeah, every time I pick up the fold chair at practice, me and Mike go, he's got a chair, McMahon. Which is actually, if I did it correctly, Jason, would be what? He's got a chair, McMahon.
That would be Mr. Jesse Ventura.
Former 38th governor of Minnesota, Ventura. But no, yeah, definitely been at that a couple of times, and that usually ends the thing for the most part. But you know, when you get older and you come around and you're just like, yeah, probably shouldn't have been a dick, or you know, that always comes out too. So, Jason, have you ever? I mean, you've only been in a couple of bands. Have you ever like had you and Micah been almost at each other?
No, I've never been in an argument with Micah about anything. But the band I was in before, yeah, me and the guitar player got into it. Yeah.
Did you punch him out?
I actually fucking picked up my drums and threw it out of my way to get to him. The bass player, top yes.
Please tell me it was at a show.
Oh no, it was a practice.
God damn it. It never, dude, that's one of the funniest things ever is seeing those videos of like the old men in the cover bands getting pissed at each other, and they start fucking like you could tell one of them's aggravating the piss out of the other, and he fucking just gets enough, and they catch it on video. And there was one where the fucking band still tries to play the other two members while the drummer and the fucking bass player are kicking each other's ass.
Yeah, they're like holding together. Yeah.
No, like anymore, man. Like I told Jason a while back that I reached my inner dudism here about 6 or so months ago, and I'm just like, you know, fucking roll on, you know. So fuck yeah.
I try to be more like that these days. You know, life's short. As you get older, you start losing your friends and family, and you kind of realize that, you know, things that used to irritate and, you know, piss you off in the past aren't really that important, you know.
Yeah. I found that as I got older, like when I get like adrenaline rushes, I don't feel good afterwards. Like, so I just try to keep like low key. You know, like it does something. Like, I don't know if it's like my heart's got weaker since I've got older or whatever, just from, you know, natural use or whatever. But like, if you get like a big adrenaline rush, especially like an angry one, like you want to fight or something, after you like come down off it, you're just like, man, I just don't feel right. You know, it's like you just don't feel right the rest of the day. You know?
Dude, so, you said that, and I'm getting like the David Attenborough fucking narration. And now, as you see, after his huge rage of energy, the lion, he falls down, and he cannot take it anymore. You know, that's totally what I got out of that. Very descriptive. I dig it. And you're fuck yeah, man. So let me ask you this, Dave. So coming into the band, you know, a couple years after the beginning, essentially, how has music evolved for you in the band of Twisted Tower Dire versus 97 when you came in the band to 2023? How has like just anything, like technology even, how has that evolved for you all?
Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, because obviously in that day you were probably recording to DAT tape. Or even still, even then, it could have been even just cassette tape, rather. You know, like a Tascam 4-track bouncing down shit.
Yeah, we definitely did demos on 4 tracks and also like a boom box that Scott had. We plug in like a Radio Shack mic and just in the right place, you know, the practice room, and crazy stuff like that. And you can get some surprisingly decent sounding stuff if you're, you know, willing to test and tinker and stuff.
Oh yeah, heights in the room even. Yeah. Dude, we in one of our practice spaces, we had a fucking sprinkler that ran right through the middle of our ceiling. And dude, I hung up mics on there and like suspended them across this way and across this way, and just got like this weird like fucking like pew pew like thing, and had the one in center, and it was just so fucking cool. So yeah, Jason, did you ever do stuff like that on cassette?
Yeah, actually, I could tell you some dumb shit I used to do was since I'm a drummer, that means I fail the guitar, because who else would like do so much work to play a show? But when I was living by myself, I would like come up with like these like guitar riffs I thought were good, you know, and I would record them onto a boombox. And then what I would do is I would take headphones and I would get another boombox out and I would get headphones and listen to the riff and then record my drums onto another boombox. And then I would like play the tapes together to record them to another boombox to like try to get like an idea to like give to my other band members. And as crazy as it sounds, it actually worked.
Dude.
Because I would leave myself plenty of time before I started. And then I would just like tap on something like, and that would be like my metronome to know to start playing the drums to it, you know? And then like when I started playing them together, I would like put cues in to start tape 1 and then a cue would come on to start tape 2 and they would play in unison and record tape 3. Because I had no life back then. I would just do weird shit like that. You know?
Dude, that's fucking hardcore. And let me tell you this. There was this chick that I had dated. And I've said this story before, and I will beat this fucking dead horse until I can't any longer. Yeah. And it is that if she instilled any piece of fucking knowledge into me, other than the fact of, you know, we're not good together, was you will always find a way. No matter what the technology is, if you want it enough. Like, you can't just sit there and say, if I could get this one particular camera, I would film movies. No, motherfucker. You film the movies with what you have. And then you work up to that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I got you.
And, yeah, recording fucking 3 fucking boom boxes together, you know, because that's what you had.
Yeah.
That's fucking hardcore, man.
I mean, like, I don't even know why I had 3 boom boxes. Like, I don't remember going out and like buying them for that reason. I just like had 3 boom boxes. Like, one was a boom box, 2 were boom boxes, and one was like it was like one of those like personal cassette recorders, like you would think like voice memos into. Like that was the one I recorded the boom boxes into. Looking back, I should have mixed it the different way, like recorded on the best boombox from the other 2 tapes with the best mic. But you know,
he's gonna record. He's gonna record his next practice this way. You watch.
Hell yeah, man! I still have my Fostex 4-track somewhere too.
You know, that's pretty cool because I remember up until about a few years ago, there's a really famous musician who still rebuilt his Fostex 4-track that he recorded demos for their second album in 1984 on. And anybody who gets that reference, you know that I don't got to put nothing in the cup. That's an inside joke. Anytime we mention certain people, we got to put money in the cup. Because there's the cup. And where's the steel pick I used the last time? And fooled everybody. But no, I mean, okay, so yeah, recording demos on 4-tracks and stuff like that, and then going to studios and recording on like DAT tapes and shit. Do you all still have those? Do you all have those masters still?
We don't, unfortunately, because Scott's house burned down at some point.
Oh, no.
And he lost, like, everything. We lost pretty much everything TTD had recorded at that point. He was, like, the gatekeeper, the main band guy that kept all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, I mean, artwork he can reproduce, things like that. But yeah, any of the DATs that we had burned up. But before that, we actually re-released our first album, reissued it. And Mark, our drummer, and a friend of his went back into the DAT tapes before the fire, and converted all that to digital files, and it was a complete mess from what he said. I was just talking to a friend about this last night, because everything on the DAT tapes are just, somehow it knows like where all the pieces are and how they go together.
Right.
But when you pull it off the DAT, it's just like a bunch of random files that are just like, you know, little squeaky guitar sounds and this and that and the other, and you got to figure out like, what song is this even from? And then where in the song is it from? And it was like a puzzle putting it all together. But he did it, and he mixed it down, and did a much better reproduction or remixing and remastering of our first album, which sounded like pretty much like dog shit, honestly, originally. So it was nice to have something that had some clarity, and there were parts that like you couldn't even hear in the mix or that weren't included for some reason, like by mistake. They got put in. So that was kind of cool. So we did get that, but everything else burned up.
Right on. And that's a terrible thing, because I definitely know about the house fire shit, and it sucks ass. I will say that. But yeah, fucking. So do you have like original copies of everything still? Or do you collect? What I'm saying is, do you collect a copy of everything that y'all have released?
Yes, definitely. And in some cases, I have this right in front of me at arm's reach, because we're getting ready to reissue this on Nameless Grave Records, but it's one of the original CDRs. I don't know if you can even see that, but CDRs from our second album, The Isle of Hydra. It was not the final mix, but it was like very, very, very close to it, and it's unmastered. So I listened through it, and it sounded pretty intact. You know, there weren't any. At that point, we were just kind of like, doing very small, minute changes. So it's not the exact final mix, but it's very, very close. So they were able to remaster this, and it's amazing. The bass guitar and the kick drums just like came out of nowhere, which is great, because I always thought that it's a good recording, but it always had kind of like a thin sound to it. Now it's got plenty of ass. Our first bass player, Jim Murad's playing on there, and you can hear like all this crazy overplaying fancy shit he used to play, and it's like a whole different recording. It breathed like new life into it, so I'm real excited about that. So things like that, I've tried to keep as much as possible. And here's like the final actual album, and here's a version that was released in Germany. It has a terrible layout. So yeah, I try to keep at least one copy of everything, including like the demos that were recorded before I even joined the band. I think I still have everything.
Hell yeah.
I have to dig around a little bit, but yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Because I know I like to do it as well. Like, even if I'll repress something and I'll press it a different way just because I can. Because it's like, okay, well, this is the slimline jacket version, and this is the jewel case version, and this is the jewel case version with the original artwork. And this is
it's okay, because a lot of times you can make sure that people know there's not a first pressing too if you do different variants, slight variants, so people kind of know what they have.
Yes, and I think a lot of bands do that anyways, just especially in the especially in the market that we have now, when you can get away with adding like a live album onto a repress of a studio album that you had, 10 years ago or whatever. And it can, for your fan base, totally. It works for, and that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Conversely, you were saying like how have things changed over the years? Recording on boom boxes, using DAT tapes and stuff, and then I went to band practice tonight, and our bass player recorded all of our tracks on his phone. I didn't even realize he was doing it. After practice, he sent them to me, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. We have pretty clear, decent recordings live. They're not perfect, but decent recordings that are could easily pass as demos at any point in time. And that's just you're carrying that around with you everywhere. It's like you're in a little recording studio in your pocket, along with your computer and everything else. So yeah, technology's been. I remember when MP3s first came out, and I thought that was like the most incredible thing.
Oh yeah.
And then Napster came, and Mark, especially in our band, has a huge problem with like Spotify, and it is strange to me that you release a new album these days and you have to put it up on YouTube so everybody can have it, even though it's like, well, we got a little bit of money from the label for this, but we had to fill in the blanks with all of our money.
Right.
Who's going to cover that? It's hard to kind of recoup as a smaller band the money you put into the band. Our last album, I borrowed money to finish the recording, and I just had to eat that. It was a decent amount of money.
What do you think your highest grossing or highest selling album is? Pre-digital age.
Well, Crest of the Martyrs would definitely be the one. That's kind of like right around the digital age, I guess. But that was the only one that we actually had officially, through real channels distributed in the United States through Magic Records. And we recorded it in Germany. And, I don't know what the numbers are because we never really got a lot of numbers, like how many they sold of this or that or the other. That's one of the weird things about working with a label that's not in your country, because they can just kind of not do certain things they're supposed to do and get away with it because there's no legal way to chase them,
Right.
So we have no idea how many of those albums they sold, but at some point they were like sitting in Walmarts in the U.S., so at least it was getting out there somewhere. That one was definitely our most popular and best distributed album worldwide.
Yeah, I can't even find a copy of it anymore, like the original. I know you guys issued the the demos on vinyl.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. But yeah, the actual Crest of the Martyrs, I can't even find it anywhere. Not even on Discogs or eBay.
Wow.
So yeah, maybe one day you guys, maybe you'll make enough money on this next show you can afford to repress that.
There you go.
Hey, that's hint.
Don't get your hopes up on the money for it.
Oh,
the venue only holds 100, so we're not looking at millions here.
Hey! Don't say that. I didn't expect anybody to come out to the big goddamn metal show, and you know fucking what, man? Fuck. I was fucking floored with that fucking performance from everybody, from the people who came out to the fucking every single fucking band that played, and everybody who fucking had a part in it, from Steve at the fucking Mag Bar and Pizza DoNisi, Phil and fucking Destiny and Jessica. Fuck yeah, anybody who had a part in fucking helping out on that, man. And it was a great fucking, it was a fucking epic weekend. And with so much other shit going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We had Twisted in town.
Yeah. Oh, just so you know, you have 1,097 monthly listeners on Spotify. I just pulled it up.
I do?
Oh.
No.
I know. They do.
Yeah.
And
we've purposefully kept some of our music off of Spotify because Mark loses his mind over this. It's out of principle and stuff, and it's something we talked about and haven't really. I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it, honestly. I get what Mark says, but at the same time, it's if people want to hear our music and they're not going to pay for it, then they should just listen to it anyway.
Right? Because
Wars in the Unknown is not on Spotify, and I have that one on vinyl.
Yeah.
Well, see, my thing with the Spotify deal is I get it, but it's almost like a necessary evil at this point, because they pay a fraction of a cent, but as Tom Jordan was talking about a few months back, Pandora is actually worse. They pay the very least out of everybody, even out of Tidal and shit like that. Yeah. So it's really do you want people to hear it and be able to come to and be able to, actually develop a taste for the entire catalog because they can access it and, totally turn over a new fan base.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing
too. For years, we were when we first started it, traditional metal was kind of dying or dead. It was the racehorse that was about to get put down on the track or something. That's what it felt like anyway. And obviously, things have changed quite a bit. There's a lot of new bands out there, and we're kind of the old shits that are trying to keep doing it, but it doesn't help us at all being curmudgeonous and we're saying we're not going to play by the new rules because we're old shits and we don't want to go along with that because it's just going to screw our band over. There's plenty of competition, if you want to use that term. A lot of other bands to hear out there that are excellent, that are good at it. They're hungry. They're younger. They're touring a lot. So it's the less our music is out there kind of in circulation, the less people are going to care about it. I guess that's kind of where I'm sitting right now with it.
I dig that.
Yeah, it's almost like, I wonder why they don't use like the movie theater model, where it's like we release this premium product here first, and then later on, when it's kind of like out of the zeitgeist, then we'll put it on all this stuff that doesn't make any money. Like let the product like make its money, like how theaters and stuff used to do.
Yeah, like if you
and
subscribe to like
that.
Spotify Premium, and it would actually be a premium thing for the artist as well.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about day release. I'm talking like 3 months later or something like that,
right.
Or 6 months. Yeah, because I mean, like looking at charts, like back in the '90s, like you have a band like Anthrax, for example. They would sell like on Sound of White Noise. They sold like like 100,000 copies the first week. It was like number 24 on Billboard. It was like crazy. Now it's like, oh yeah, Anthrax. They sold like 4,000 copies of a new one, but like 2,500 was from streaming. So like basically they didn't sell shit. And like
right.
they're like number like 8 on Billboard, with like 4,000 copies sold. It's like weird how like because like when it's on YouTube and like you can listen to it 3 days early before it comes out, no one's gonna buy it if it's already out.
Right.
So it's like I don't know why labels just like give their stuff away and then bitch about no money coming in. So that's just
it's kind of weird. At times it feels like everybody's kind of like mixed up and doesn't understand what the fuck's going on.
Nobody does.
Nobody came up with this plan to do this shit this way.
Yeah, it's like I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but I mean, like some bands held out. Like AC/DC, I know didn't put their catalog on for a long time after Spotify was out, and Def Leppard too, and they probably commanded like a penny and a half or maybe even 2 cents a play. And they're probably making bank on that stuff. But a band like my size,
Beatles were the same way.
Yeah, or your size. I mean, like you get like 100 plays, you get like 6 cents or whatever it is. Probably less than that, actually.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
Right.
One other thing we've realized is that once you get, like, say, a particular album on Spotify or one of these platforms, it is nearly impossible to get it off again. Like if the rights to the music change, if somebody licensed it, and the rights come back to the band, you want to be like, we don't want that on Spotify anymore. They're like, okay, well, here's a 100-page form you have to fill out, and your lawyer needs to sign it, and we're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
ridiculous.
You can go through DistroKid and just not pay your bill; they'll take it off right away.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean that's one way to do it. Because it expires at this time every year, and if you don't want it on there, you just have to wait till like November or December or whatever.
Yeah, whenever your subscription ends. Yeah, whenever you sign up, it's at the end of that year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
That's how small bands get it done. Don't pay your bills. That's
dude. That reminds me of a video I watched over the weekend. It was when I was recouping from the big goddamn metal show, and it was Laid Back, and he's like, "Hey man, Laid Back here. He's like, I'm trying to stay incognito because I'm about to travel through Terre Haute, Indiana, which, if you remember, back in 1978 when I was just a young laid-back country picker, I found out about Columbia House, and their home office was up here, and I don't know if it's a trap that they're getting me to come this way and are going to arrest me when I go through town for not paying my Columbia House bill because I skipped out on them."
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm just like, dude, this is great. Like, I love Columbia House shit. Jason and I were talking about this here a while back. Did you do it?
I did it, yeah. And I had problems getting out of it. I remember my mom worked with a bunch of lawyers, and she took the initiative to talk to them and write a formal letter to Columbia House and mail it off. And I think they finally stopped sending me CDs that I didn't want to mail back. But I did stock up on my it was like when I first started my CD collection. I did a pretty good job kind of expanding it based on what they had. But at a certain point, they just don't have anything more that you really want. And then what do you do? That was the problem.
Like this collection back here behind me, I would say like 25% is BMG and Columbia House. It has like the tag on the back corner, manufactured for each one, and a lot of them are missing, of course. But yeah, so
that's awesome though.
Too.
I mean, that's the thing of a different time, that will never ever come back.
Yeah. I also remember when I first signed up for Netflix, and they'd mail you the DVDs, and I was watching The Sopranos, and I get like 2 discs at a time and watch them and send them back and wait for the new ones, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Streaming is weird. You don't even do that anymore,
Yeah, I would get like concert DVDs and stuff, and watch them, and then like I would let like people borrow them. It's like hoping they would give them back, like when they're done. It's like, hey man, can I get that like Iron Maiden, like Live After Death DVD back, because like I need to send it off to get Iron Maiden like made in England. Like, send it off for me, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, hurry up with that,
Right.
It's like library books.
No shit. That was the library books of our of our 20s or early 30s. Yeah. Jeez. That's great. I was about to say Big Goddamn Metal Show, but I mean Steel and Stone Fest. What's the set going to be like? Old and new, all old? I mean,
it'll be a lot of old. I think we're playing 4 tracks off Curse of the Martyrs, 2 off of the Isle of Hydra. That's the second album. 1 off of the first album. I think we're playing Witch's Eyes. We usually do that. That's like our closing song.
Nice.
2 tracks off the newest album. I think we're probably playing Snow Leopard off of Make It Dark.
So a pretty versatile set. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I tried to talk Mark into having you guys play Crest of the Martyrs front to back. But
I would love to think we could do that, but man,
he was like no, because like I can't remember, like I might have been like one of you guys didn't know something on Reflecting Pool, or you couldn't play it for some reason, something like that. So yeah, he was like, yeah. I was like, damn it. I was like, that would have been like ice on the cake. I get Twisted Tower Dire, the only show in town, and play Crest of the Martyrs in its entirety. I was like, dude, I'm fucking done with promoting after this fucking trifecta.
See, now you got to do it just to get him to stop doing these things.
I'll book them from now on, so they play it in its entirety. It's like, okay, I'm good.
Got to go with inflation. You really got to hit him where it counts.
If you don't play the whole album, I'm not paying you. That's a stipulation I just came up with tonight, day of the show. No, just kidding. Yeah, Reflecting
Pool. Not getting paid, so that's not a big deal.
No, I'm not like that, dude. You'll get paid. Reflecting Pool is like one of my favorite songs that you guys do. That song's amazing, man. So.
Oh, I love it too.
I was bummed when you said you couldn't play it for reasons, but I was like, oh, okay. Well, because Axis and Honor is also equally fucking awesome. I know that'll be in the set because.
Yeah, definitely doing that.
Hell yeah. So we've actually spent a good section of this like whole episode in the Derailed segment. So Derailed here is usually just 5 random questions that I pull from decks of cards and just ask. But I'm also going to have Jason ask some Derailed questions as well.
Okay.
Is it better to be liked or respected?
I'm thinking a lot about this one.
Yeah, but no, that's great. Yeah.
I can go my answer on that.
What's your answer, Jason?
Respected, because even if they don't like you, if you're respected, they have to say something nice about you. Or like something positive about you. Yeah.
The guy's a dick, but he's a cool dick.
It's like the guy's a dick, but man, he can write some songs.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Or, the guy's a dick, but the shows go on.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I get that.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess the answer might be different if you're talking about an individual or a whole band too, because, maybe it's not different. I don't know.
Well, I think as a band being liked means that you have people come out, but I think a band being respected, on the other hand, is from other musicians.
Yeah. I think that's important.
Yeah,
there's
because
definitely...
I mean, I like Iron Maiden, yes, but I also respect Iron Maiden for what they do. But I don't think a lot of, like, quote, normies, non-musicians, I guess, that I don't think they understand the respect for... Some of them do that are just, like, audiophiles, because, like, I think if Joe Cocker was not a singer, he would have been like an audiophile, because he's always like doing the thing, playing air guitar and shit. And that's exclusively my impersonation for the video version of this. So the audio people don't get to see that shit.
Right.
Yeah. But no, like, yeah. So that's where I think I get what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's a tough decision, really, because, I guess...
And liked versus respected versus your bandmates.
Yeah,
to each other.
At the end, that's a whole different story, yeah.
It's like, Jason, I like you, but fuck you, I don't respect you. Right. He knows that's bullshit. He knows I respect the fuck out of him.
Yeah, respect's pretty important. Bands sometimes pull some shiesty stuff, or do kind of selfish things. Maybe I don't want to like pull out specific examples or throw anybody under the bus, but sometimes I'll see a band do something, or a member from a band, that I'm just like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, well, one thing I can think of is like someone that comes and plays a show and then just like immediately packs up their shit and leaves. Doesn't even like hang around for the rest of the show, and I've always thought that's just a bad taste. So, like, if you're gonna go to the show and you're gonna participate, you should,
I agree.
It should go without saying that you stay for the whole show. If there's an emergency or kids, you have to go. If there's something like really important, that's one thing. But you're either in or you're out.
Yeah, if the later bands have to get there early and sit through you should show respect and sit through them.
Oh, absolutely, I agree to that.
And it looks better out there in the crowd, and plus, it's like a respect thing. It's so yeah. I mean, my pet peeve is drummers who dismantle their drum kit on stage while
yes,
sitting there standing there waiting on them. Yeah, that's my. After that, I'm just like, dude, fuck you, man.
I'm gonna make sure we do that now.
Yeah, of course you are.
Well, the equivalent for guitar players is you walk up to the front of the stage and just start shaking hands and have people tell you how great you are and like fuck off for 20 minutes and not pack your shit up and leave. And you see plenty of people doing that too, and you just want to smack the shit out of them.
Yeah, and and sometimes it's just as bad at the end of a show, like especially if you're a promoter and like if it's on like a local level and the guys just fucking go to the bar and drink, and it's just like, come on guys, we got to close the room out. Mm-hmm. It's like, I know this is the neighborhood fucking dive, but goddamn it, get your shit out of the room. They want to fucking close it. It's like that thing. If you're on fucking tour, and you do that shit, I am totally fucking cool with it, because you fucking are working. This is your fucking blow off steam moment. You fucking take that time,
Right.
But like, if you live in town and you're doing that shit, fuck off, man.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
One thing before we move on to the next question, Mark can dismantle his drums on stage all he wants because there's nobody after y'all. So I just want to make that clear. This isn't for the headlining band. It's for like the bands all before the headlining band. Move your drums off stage and other shit too.
Oh yes, absolutely. Jason, what do you have a question for?
Well, I don't even know if it's derailed, but I do have some really dorky questions. So you guys recorded Crest of the Martyrs with Pete Silik, who plays in Iron Savior.
Yeah.
Do you listen to that band still or anything, or do you keep up with what he's doing, or how was he to work with? Did you go to Germany to record that?
I think everybody had a different experience with Pete. I didn't know really what to expect, I guess. And it's probably more my fault than his, but I had a certain amount of time budgeted to do, my rhythm tracks and then my guitar leads. And I sat down and played through, I think we were doing a re-recording of Witch's Eyes from the first album. I think that was the first one we did. I played through my rhythm tracks. He said, "Oh, that's great. Okay. You're a very consistent rhythm player. You're going to play the rhythms on the whole album." And I'm like, "What?" Like, what do you mean? I don't have time to do that. He's like, "Well, this is what we have to do." And I'm like, I'm not going to have time to finish all my stuff. And like from day one, it was like stress from that point on. And it was not good. Mark had some problems with him too, and I think Scott and Jim got along with him really well, and Tony did too. So it was just very much like a personality thing, and what he was asking each member to do, like what role to fill. I don't think I really knew what to expect when we went there, and I personally didn't really expect him to. I mean, he was producing the album, but I guess I assumed he would try to like kind of capture our magic rather than kind of like. It felt like he was just kind of like running us through like a power metal meat grinder that he uses on his band and Storm Warrior and all these other bands, Paragon. They all kind of had a very same production sound, I think that's kind of how he was working back then. So I didn't expect that at all, and it kind of irritated the shit out of me for a while.
Right.
But eventually I got past it, and it is what it is, and it's. Ironically, it's the one album that most people would pick out as their favorite, which is kind of interesting too, because it was such a difficult one for several of us to record. And it was also like there's terrible weather. It was like freezing rain, snowing the whole time in Germany. We're taking public transportation. We were all there at different times. There was like one or two of us there at each time. We weren't all together because that's just how we had to do with our vacation and stuff. It was just a very weird experience. Difficult. Wow. But we got past it. And it's better now.
That's cool. Do you listen to his band any? Iron Savior?
A little bit. I mean, he's a very, very talented musician. I think Iron Savior is a great band. I'm not like a super huge fan of theirs. I think he worked on, he didn't produce, but I think he was like one of the head engineers on Blind Guardian's Nightfall of Middle-earth. And that's like one of my favorite power metal albums of all time. So I think it's cool that he worked on that just because that's like one of my favorite power metal albums. So yeah, I'm not like a huge Iron Savior, follower or anything like that.
Well, I just found out about him like back in 2019, I think. It was actually, believe it or not, a Spotify recommendation. I was like, "Oh, this cover looks cool," and like I listened, was like, "Whoa, man, this is actually really good." And he had like 30 years worth of albums. Like, holy shit, man! I just like hit the jackpot on like power metal. I can like just listen to it any time. But his new one, they put out Firestar. Man, I was like, "Wow, this is next level like songwriting on this album." It's really
cool.
So yeah, you should check it out, man. I think the Firestar album is really good.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah. So this is one that's off the cuff and very topical because this one is not actually coming from the deck of cards. I want to know your opinion. Have you listened to the new Judas Priest Panic Attack single?
I have not actually heard that yet.
Wow.
Yeah. I wish I had heard it so I could. I was aware that it was coming. I didn't know it was out yet. I guess. What it comes down to. Yeah, I'm pretty good at like not getting on social media for a couple of days and missing things like that.
Right.
Yeah. I think they released it way too early compared to when the album's coming out, but I guess that's what they do now to get a little bit of money coming in to pay for stuff. But yeah, I dig it. It's kind of like Turbo meets Painkiller with like modern production.
Yeah, I could see that
stuff.
I dig it.
So yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Somebody that I know posted something about it like KK seriously gonna fucking continue to clown on Judas Priest when they drop what they're dropping now versus what he's dropping.
It's pretty weird.
I listened to that first KK Priest album and I was like, dude, it's just like a wank fest. He's like, oh yeah, I can solo over the solos. Watch this. It's like, dude, this sounds like it's like what the fuck is this? It's like, and then like the new one, like his third one's probably gonna be called like More Invincible Shield or something like that. Like he just can't, like he just can't get over it. Like, dude, you quit the band, you wrote them nasty letters, and you sold all your rights. Like, what the fuck? What do you have left in this band that you think you're owed? It's like you quit. I mean, I don't. And he's always like bitching, like, yeah, they didn't invite me back, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I probably wouldn't have either. To tell you the honest truth, man. So yeah, I don't know what's with that. That dude's just like off his fucking rocker, man. What it is he's desperate for money because he like wasted all on some golf course, and now he's like, oh, I gotta make some money, So like, yeah, what better way to like jump on Judas Priest's name with KK's Priest? It's like that's not even a good name, It's like I just don't get it, man.
Yeah, it's very obtuse and kind of.
Yeah, ridiculous actually, and shame on them for not ever replying back to emails about asking fucking for interviews. Even if they would have said, "Hey, Duke him $100 and buy a cameo."
Oh, did you hit up KK's Priest for Metal Forge?
Yeah, a few times.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. One time I was told KK is not accepting any press at this time. And the other time was like, let me check back. Mm-hmm. And like a couple of weeks went by and I sent a reply and a follow-up and never heard back. So, and that's been like a year ago.
They'd be all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. So a little bonus question here, and then Jason can ask another one. Which of the Beatles do you think would be one of the best to hang out with?
Oh, man. Best to hang out with.
Like just alone?
Yeah, you and them.
Okay. Because if I had to hang out with Yoko, John Lennon's definitely off the fucking list. So.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I've never been very impressed with her.
No, nobody is. Dude, I just remember I remember a fucking NPR interview with her, and she was like fucking real condescending, like, back in the 60s, the existentialists, John and I would call them exes. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's really bad. Every time I hear her or see her perform or whatever, hear her talking, I'm just like, yeah, just wow, who cares?
It's like you remember that scene in Scanners? No, it's like that. Dude, I love the fucking Chuck Berry videos with John and Yoko, and she starts that fucking howling shit, and fucking Chuck just turns around and looks at her and looks at John, and fucking is rolling his eyes the entire time as those two are playing guitar, and he's just like, every time her mouth is open, he's just like, holy shit.
Yeah, I think Paul would be an interesting guy to talk to. I mean, he seems super polite and nice and stuff.
Yeah.
Ringo seems like a goofball, so he's probably the easiest, more laid back guy to hang out with. And
yeah, he seems like a clown. Yeah.
George has always been kind of a mystery to me. Like he was always kind of like back in the shadows. Just
see, I'd like to hang out with George. George would have been mine. Because I mean, think about this. George was cool. He had a wife that Eric Clapton wanted. So yeah, and even played on a lot of shit with him. So hell yeah, that's a good one. Jason, you got another one.
What do you think the last CD you got from Columbia House was?
Oh gosh, the last one. I remember getting several Led Zeppelin CDs. I mean, I just got my first CD player. It's a boombox with a CD player in it,
Oh yeah, man.
And I was like, oh, I gotta replace all of my, all my tapes with CDs now. I know I had Houses of the Holy that came from Columbia House. I'm trying to think of like the last. I mean, it must have been something terrible because it was probably. Oh no! It showed up. That you see that box, and you're like, God damn it! They sent another one, and then you open it up, and you're like, what is this garbage? I can't remember what the last one was, but I'm sure it was something I despised because I cried to my mom to get her lawyer friends to get me out of the contract. And God, I'm trying to remember if I had any like real stinkers that came through. Because they would. It seems like if you didn't tell them what you wanted, they kind of like
sent you anything.
Like, either threw anything at you or tried to like guess based on what you'd already bought or requested.
Yeah, I don't remember ever getting anything I didn't order, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
they definitely did that. Maybe that was like a later tactic or something.
Yeah, maybe that would. I did mostly BMG. I think I only did Columbia House at the end. When I was like, BMG was like, yeah, we're done with you. I was like, okay, I'll just go to this other one. Get more.
Here's one that's interesting. Did you ever, when you went to get your first cell phone and you did not have good credit because BMG and Columbia House were on there and you had to pay the fucking deductible?
No, I don't remember that. But my first cell phone, my dad got me. So.
Oh yeah, I had to. Fucking my first cell phone that I got was on my own, and fucking like fucking they're like, you have a bad credit score based on, it looks like here, Columbia House. It's like fucking everybody does. And I had to pay a deposit on my first phone of like $500.
Oh wow, yeah,
that's a lot.
I remember when my dad got a phone. I put it on his plan, and it was like, you got like 25 outgoing minutes. I was like, okay, that was like a lot, you know. It's like, oh, and nights and weekends got unlimited. So it's like from 7 to like 6 in the morning, you had unlimited. And on weekends and holidays, you had unlimited. But God forbid you had to make a call during the day. It's like, you gotta keep it quick. I only got 23 more minutes.
Yeah,
this month. You know, it's like some crazy shit, man.
And text messages cost 10 cents.
Yeah. I can't believe it used to be a thing. Dude.
And picture messages cost 50.
Yeah. And like you had to like buy a ringtone off like the company store your phone and shit, you know?
Yeah.
So like I had to pay like $3.99 for like the Good, Bad, and the Ugly theme to ring, you know, when a phone and because like they really didn't have anything I wanted, you know. That was the only cool thing I could find.
And you know, and the funny thing is like Verizon prepay was fucking like they would take it off of your minute count.
Oh really?
Yeah, you would fucking on your, like if you had a $50 phone card that you put on there and you ordered a ringtone,
right,
it would take it like the equivalent amount off of your fucking minute count.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, see, I had the first company I had a cell phone was called Bell Atlantic Mobile, which was like one of the companies that AT&T ended up absorbing.
Yeah,
it was like sense. From a merger, and then AT&T like bought that company that merged with those two, and then like so that's who I had. So yeah, I was a prehistoric fucking cell phone stories, dude. I still have my dad's first bag phone, dude. Like remember the phones in the bag?
Yeah,
like it had like the receiver set. It was like a regular phone. Yeah, I still have that. He was proud of that. 15 minutes a month. If I called him, he'd be pissed. I'm like, well, you told me to call you if I needed something. It's like, well.
Yeah, I remember my brother-in-law gave me one, and I was like, well, what do I do with this? And he said, well, you keep it in the trunk, and if you get in an accident and you're stuck out somewhere and need to call, you can, plug it in and call. I'm like, well, how is it going to work? He's like, there's no plan or anything. He's like, oh, well, if it's an emergency, you can still use it. I'm like, I don't think so, dude. And I never used it. It just sat in the trunk, and I forgot it was even in there.
Yeah, 911 was free. I remember that. Like you could call 911 unlimited minutes, of course, because they had to find you and stuff. But I even remember like when you watch movies like from the 90s and they're like on their cell phone, like the fucking antenna is like 3 feet long, like a big whip and shit.
Yeah, right. Dude, I love dude, that's what I love about Die Hard with a Vengeance is because it's all in phone booths.
Yeah.
It's like, get to the phone booth at this place.
Yeah, but at the time, phone booths were plentiful.
Yeah.
So it made sense.
That's why I still like watching it.
Yeah, it's like, now I've really gone back in the past here on this stuff. Should be dinosaurs walking by or something soon because it's so far back.
Right, no shit. That's what the fucking kids today think, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Isn't this part of Jurassic Park?
Watching my stepson try to put in a cassette tape for the first time absolutely fucking cracked me up because he couldn't do
it. What do these two things have in common? a pen.
It's like, look at the shape, look at the slot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I have one more question, but before we get to it, as always, links are listed below. So please give a like, share, and a follow. Go listen to music, go buy music at a show called Steel and Stone Fest, because I'm sure they're going to have a fucking awesome merch booth while they're there.
Dude, that merch table is going to be pretty insane, dude.
Yeah, I mean, because fucking Overload has some weird merch. And yeah, I think we might have to get some more printed now. Aside from that, yeah, it's going to be an insane merch booth. So, anywhere you can find their stuff, it'll be listed below. Dude, David, do you have any shout outs you want to give to anybody today?
Who deserves a shout out? Let's see.
Mark needs one. That's who I've been communicating with for the fest details.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mark.
Mark needs a shout out, yeah, because
Mark's not here today because he's in Mexico, so fuck him.
Dude, watch out for cartels, man. If you're listening to this,
I tell him every time he tells me he's going. Yeah, he goes every year. I'm like, dude, you're gonna get kidnapped one day. It's not gonna be good. No, they don't do that. The resorts where we go. I'm like, okay, we'll see.
Well, he is the drummer of Twisted Tower Dire. I mean, I'd throw that out. I'd be like, hey, you know who I am?
Probably holding for a higher ransom.
Right. That's so fucking weird, though, dude. Like, in White Line Fever, if you read about that shit from, like, Lemmy's perspective, when they went into fucking Colombia for the first time, and it was, like, fucking guided by the military, and they were fucking sure that the fucking military was going to fucking take them hostage.
Yeah.
Until fucking other fucking people showed up.
Dude, there's a band that me and you know. I'm not going to say it just because it's none of my business. I think it was told to me in whatever it's called, Good Faith, that a band had to pay for a police escort to come home through Mexico. It's basically pay or don't make it home kind of thing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'll tell you this later.
Yeah, we'll leave that in the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to him for sure, because I was even talking to him and trying to coordinate shit for this.
Yeah. One obvious person I can give a shout out to is sitting right here is Jason for putting on this incredible fest, and
thanks,
we're very honored to be headlining it and excited to be playing it. You actually gave us an excuse to get out and play a show this year, so
hell yeah, dude.
Dude, I'll be honest with you, I was a little nervous to ask. I was like, these guys are like, they've been around a long time. They play like Vakken and like all these big fests, and like here I am inviting them to this like dive bar with like a step for a stage. Like, is this gonna be insulting to them or like what? And then so like I started like watching videos. Like, well, let me see what other venues they play that might look like this. And the first live video I found of you guys was at like some dive bar with a step. I was like, okay, maybe this is okay, but I said I don't want to insult anybody, like. Because, like, a lot of bands are like, we need a stage that's like X amount off the floor high. We need this wide. We need these kind of lights with this mixing board, minimum channels and stuff. And I was like, well, I mean, we'll see. But, yeah, after I started talking to Mark, he's like, yeah, man, sounds cool. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks. All right. I'll be in touch. Yeah, so.
Well, honestly, man, like, to me, with stuff like that is, hey, the dive with the step is fucking cool. I love playing the dive with the step. And honestly, I guarantee, and I know there's video proof of certain bands that, we talked about in a segment earlier that we didn't mention names on, that they love going back to the dives and playing them too under fake names.
Right.
So... yeah, everybody still loves playing the dive. As much as we love playing the fucking, the 4 foot tall stage.
Right.
The absurdly large fucking drum riser. The drum riser that we all look at and are like, are you fucking serious?
Like Megadeth's drum riser.
How the fuck am I going to get up there and not fall off?
Yeah. Yeah, Megadeth's drum riser is really high up there.
Yeah.
Like, where is this guy? I need binoculars. I'm on the front row. I can't even see him out there.
And that's one of the things I absolutely hate of fucking like their riser and Nico's riser. Like, if you don't get like a center seat for those two bands, like you cannot see the drummers at all.
Right.
Like,
well, Nico's problem is he has so many damn cymbals. It's hard to see him anyway.
Right. That's true. Yeah, you really have to watch Nico from the fucking cameras.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I did say one of the big four names, so
Yeah, I
Go
know.
ahead.
I heard
Yeah.
you. Now you got to put money in the can, motherfucker.
I did it.
So, dude, David, my final question of the day is, all right, the phone's ringing and you're getting the knock at the door. It's the one band that you can't say no to playing with. They're saying, dude, we need your guitar skills. We need you. Who is it?
Oh, man. I could go so many different directions with that.
Maybe it's on his hat.
Maybe it's not.
I'd be terrified to try to play with Thin Lizzy, yeah.
But Phil's
Honestly.
here. But Phil's here. Actually, legitimately. Like, Phil's here, man. Look over here. So, shit, where'd he go?
Froze up here.
I'm a dumbass.
Man. Thin Lizzy's a good one. I mean,
There he is.
Oh,
He's
back
back. I don't know. Did you see Phil on the wall?
No,
I
it
did,
froze
yes.
up. It froze up for you out there.
Phil's here, man. Phil's knocking at the door. Is it Thin Lizzy?
I think that's a good one, yeah. I can't think of anything better. I mean, I love Thin Lizzy. I just there's no way in hell I can keep up with any of the guitar players that have ever played for that band, including Snowy, and he was pretty good too.
Right. I mean, even Brian Robertson.
And he was pretty good, yeah, when he's sober. I mean,
Very, very true. And I mean,
Didn't have
because
a record
Brian
singer
Robertson
fighting.
was in Motorhead also, so
yeah.
One album at least. Was it one or two?
it was one.
One. Gotcha.
And it was at their time it was their worst selling album
Right.
because it was so different. And now like my generation love that album because it's so different.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
like Thin Lizzy Motorhead.
It's not terrible. I don't hate that album.
No, Another Perfect Day is good. Dude, hell yeah. This has been such an awesome conversation. David, thank you so fucking much. I am looking forward to seeing you guys at Steel and Stone. Jason, thank you so fucking much.
Yeah,
And
man,
I'm looking
I
forward
wanna
to seeing you at Steel and Stone.
I want to make somewhat of a milestone announcement for me. As of about 30 minutes ago when I asked, we have 7 pre-sales. So
Whoa.
thank you everyone who has bought a ticket in advance, because I'm giving away CDs to all pre-sale buyers, compilation CDs, and then I'll have some posters also. I was going to include.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you hear this and think about going, you get a comp CD and a poster with your pre-sale. So yeah,
Dude,
get those pre-sales in.
I will tell you now, pre-sales, thank you. Because I was not expecting so many pre-sales for the Big Goddamn Metal Show. So,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're a little bit more because you have to pay like fees and shit afterwards. So I want to like incentivize by giving you some more stuff to make up for those like extra fees.
dude, David, on the way out today, what do you want to play?
What do I want to play? I think Light the Swords on Fire is a good one off the last album. I don't know if you can get to that or not, but
Sure. So you heard him. This is Let the Swords on Fire.
Total war, sing of might, sing of sword. Ride to the storm, to the streets of the gore. Let the swords on fire, just as year of more. Let the swords on fire, it's a mountain. Oh, and when you're burning away, we're cutting you off.
Get ready for a night of face-melting metal, Friday, November 10th at the Odd in West Asheville. It is the return of the annual Steel and Stone Fest, featuring the only performance of the year from the North Carolina power metal legends Twisted Tower Dial. The rest of the lineup includes metal bands from Asheville and surrounding areas. Children of the Reptile, Oblivion Throne, Overload, Temptation's Wings, and All Hell. $12 in advance, $15 at the door. First 50 people get a free comp CD. Doors are at 4, the music is at 7. For advance tickets, go to steelandstonefest.com. Be there. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine, an independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana, is the premier 12,500 square foot music superstore that has served both southern Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky metro area for over 4 decades. Originally founded by Marvin and Beverly Maxwell in the 70s, this gym remains a Maxwell family-owned business. Mark Maxwell, along with his business partner Whitney McNichol, continued the reputation as being the national resource for all things music.
In 2022, the iconic Guitar Emporium of Louisville relocated to Maxwell's Music, creating the largest independently owned showroom in the region. The retail offerings at Maxwell's Music includes a huge selection of guitars, basses, amplifiers, effects pedals, modeling amps, keyboards, drums, banjos, mandolins, ukuleles, sound systems, stage lighting equipment, and accessories. The music education program at Maxwell's is second to none. From private instrument and voice lessons to DJ, EDM, recording, songwriting, and music theory, to rock school, weekend warriors, and Maxwell's Music Lab, there is something for every age and every ability level.
Down in Repairland, guitar and instrument repairs and refurbishment are taken care of by the Maxwell's team of expert guitar technicians and luthiers. They also do appraisals of instruments as well. Maxwell's offers installations for professional audio, visual, and lighting systems for schools, churches, clubs, VFWs, funeral homes, sports fields, and so much more. There's also rentable space at Maxwell's, from the music practice and rehearsal rooms for the individuals and bands, all the way to a meeting space and concert venue that seats up to 120. That also includes a professional audio, visual, and lighting system and a sound booth. Maxwell's has it all. All this plus original functioning 1947 recording booth to make your own record. Go to the Guitar Hero throne, to the very own Elvis statue, and don't forget the Harmony Green Pocket Park. There's a reason the Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana has been recognized by the National Association of Music Merchants as a #1 award-winning best store design, as well as top 100 music store year after year. You gotta see it to believe it. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana.